Good day and great light, illuminators. Thanks for joining me. This is Wendy looking out to my backyard, and it is the time of day through the window when the prisms come out to play. So here they are, they come to play outside. They come to play inside, I should say, in the room. Right in the sun rays. Lesmiasha inte ijana mareva komoroma atea. Sanatu untoya ijana kitevas masa. Itea no malava komoromo asheshetea. Katashanokia. And there they are. Little light sprites all over the room. And when we begin to see the interdimensional beings around us, we begin to see through these examples, through the prism of lights, through the crystals, what these beings look like, and that they really are around us, floating around us all the time. The prism is a collective. I've been connecting with and channeling for quite a few years, since the beginning. And actually today I begin 10 years on YouTube, sharing light codes, light languages, written, spoken, sung, in every way that I've been excited to. And I just love it when the Prism Collective comes out to play with us. Even just in the recognition, the observation of them and their observation of us, we begin to more clearly, more deeply connect with the light that we actually are. So thanks for joining me and allowing this permission slip, this idea, the crystals, the sunlight, the light codes of the sun, and of course, the elements and the elementals that reside right outside the window. Just a few of the feathers that I've collected over the years, representing our collective connection to the avian world. All of these energies, including again the Council of Nine, invite us to play more, play with light, play in the light. That we once again may discover something, illuminate something within us to better understand our journey here together and your journey as a complete universe, a complete prism that you are. And if you're new to the channel, welcome to my backyard. It's a little hard to see through the tree branches, but my garden's down there and it's fenced in, and I've been excited about exploring just how to make it a floral, sacred sanctuary space for just another place to enjoy the sights, the smells, the butterflies, the bees, the hummingbirds. Got my couple of little chairs down there, and we have a couple other YouTube channels that we started over the years. If you're interested in some of the other things that we're interested in, they're listed in the description of the videos. Just exploring the things that we like to do in our own backyard, and also equally as important, or I should say equally as exciting, is Open Contact TV, the channel in which we focus more on the idea of open contact with extraterrestrials, higher dimensional beings, multidimensional beings, becoming part of the Interstellar Alliance, becoming star-faring community, collective, understanding that we have never been alone here. And as we embrace these invitations to explore more and more of the light that we are and all the light that is within each other, we expand our own, we expand our belief systems of what our consciousness really is and what we are capable of. So, and I already have a list going of my a bunch of climbing plants and trailing fence plants that I want to start growing. So, trying something new, beginning again, learning, taking what we've learned, what I've learned over a lifetime of practicing and playing with flowers and growing and gardening, and now here in a new zone. And it's getting hotter. It feels like here every year. It seems to just change. And so I'm learning now, this is the time of year I have to start planning, and I got to start cleaning up and deciding what I want to put where, because the heat creeps up quick here. And I know we've got probably another, several weeks of cold weather. But, and of course, the days are getting longer here in the Northern Hemisphere every day by at least a minute. So I'm excited about that the days are already getting longer. So, and I already know that because of our higher frequency, it really does feel as if we're it's like a tuning fork. As our vibration speeds up, it's like our mind has to catch up, and it does feel as though when we're moving toward matching that increased vibration within us, where we feel like time is speeding up because we're taking up less time by being in joy. You're using up less time. Therefore, it feels like time is going very, very quickly. So anyway, I've learned that before I know it, in a few weeks, even early in the morning, it is going to start getting quite warm here. And if you're new, we're located in central Alabama here in the United States. We're in agricultural zone 8B, so it is considered semi-tropical here. So I'm learning, I grew up way up north, almost at, the Illinois, right, pretty much at the Wisconsin-Illinois border, and then moving further south, and then experiencing even Miami and the plants there, and now moving here, discovering the new dirt, the soil, the clay, how it interacts here, and we're up on a mountain, and how the water flows here, and all of those interesting things that make us create an experience for ourselves wherever we are. And that changes for us too. And I'm always open to change every year, and the flexibility. And being in nature teaches us that. It teaches us cycles and flexibility, and that what was last year is not this year, and no year is the same. Yum, coffee. It's actually sunny today, but the wind is really brisk out there. It's not real cold, but it feels really cold. So I really couldn't make a video out there. I was excited. I wanted to, but I wasn't able to. But we went for a nice walk, and it allows us. Yesterday we're talking about using our imaginations and daydreaming. So I've been daydreaming about what can be and what it can look like, and whether or not without any insistence, and allowing it to be what it is for the experience, and learning to go with the cycles and the new cycles. Maybe even where you live is different than it was last year or 5 years ago, or what, or longer. Maybe you've moved and relocated and are learning a whole new culture. Maybe you've moved across the world and it's a completely new culture, and maybe even speaking different languages. So finding our place in all of that. And it's interesting because if it wasn't for you guys, I wouldn't be here on YouTube this is, beginning my 10th year now. It's not something that I have the opportunity to do here in person in my hometown, at least, in the small town that I'm here. And really hadn't found any of those places, no matter where I lived, where at least I had the belief system that I was comfortable doing this work and doing oracle readings and doing light language activations and really talking about extraterrestrial and ET contact and how we do that and how we discover the different parts of who we are through synchronicities and signs from, remember, messages, important messages from our higher mind and from our spirit guides, and through all the different ways, every single thing that we find that excites us in that moment, whether it's drinking coffee, whether it's, the tea, whether it's crystals, whether it's creating or looking at art, the list goes on. There's just too much. Whatever it is that excites you is what you need in that moment, which is all we need to know in that moment. And without having, like me, the insistence of, okay, if things didn't go, and I think every gardener will tell you this, and that nothing ever goes exactly the way you think it will, and it doesn't always go according to plan. Weather isn't always the way we expect it to be, and we learn how to be resilient. We learn from the weather. We learn from nature. We learn from our spirit guides, and the Fey realms, and all of the above. We learn from cycles of nature and flowers and plants and trees. That you've got to be flexible. It's never going to be the same. And even the laws of creation tell us everything changes. Everything changes except the first 4 laws. And the ability to use our imaginations to become more harmonious with our own world, with our own weather. And we're reminded too that part of our weather is also, it is a reflection of our entire collective consciousness, and what vibrational earth do we want to be on, and how do we come closer to doing that. And it's by relating and receiving. We have number 9, the sacred symbol for number 9 for this year of 9 is receive. So this year is all about receiving. It's all about understanding you're already receiving. It's not how can I receive, or how can I receive more. You already are receiving it. It's how are you receiving it, and how are you perceiving what you're receiving. Because if we're perceiving something either by having an expectation, an insistence, or if we think that something should come through a certain way, like our guidance is supposed to come through a certain way, or through a certain language, or through a certain message, or we may be slowing down the whole train, slowing down the whole engine, by not using our imagination, by not realizing that even as I'm writing this list of flowers, and there's information in here embedded, and even in the names of the flowers, there's sacred geometry embedded in the name of the flower. There's the all of the everything that's excited about that idea, and that flower and that color is participating in the name of the plant. This is how we begin to understand the intricacy of how every single thing is connected. And if we understand that there's even such a thing as quantum and quantum healing, then we already understand there's already other dimensions, other realms, other lives, but we're beginning to understand now, it's now. What was, or what is, or what will be, is all right now. And we're learning to understand that particle and even our science has confirmed this. We, as our minds, and I'm reminded again what Bashar has told us many times, that our physical mind, with the highest thing that we can imagine, is just, which is the ceiling to our imagination, is only the floor to the imagination of our higher mind, the basement. We can't imagine yet what we can't imagine yet. And that's okay. But by doing these things that we love, joyfully, connectively, reminds us in every way, and as in every way, how we're creating our own reality by the idea of the vibration that we're putting out is what we get to see in the reflection. And then we get all through the steps of the cycles of 9 and the powers of 9. We begin by perceiving, and then we transcend and we forget. It's a whole cycle, just like nature. And everything follows these, everything that we in physical reality interact with, are interacting with us in these 9 levels, in their own way of perceiving it. It's like here I'm feeling once again, pushing us, just nudging us, to, out into the light, out into our, the outside of that ceiling. If we can just believe that that there's more that we don't know yet, and we're going to know right when we need to know it, we become resilient and move in the flow, like the weather, like the trees, like the universe. We've already, our higher mind and our higher self and our guides, they've got us. If we just be in harmony by knowing that every single thing that we're looking at is a very important message for us, even if we don't consciously understand it, because you're creating it. And whether it's through any of these tools that any of us use for any type of spiritual practice, I don't really mention it, but I'm a Reiki practitioner, and I've gone through Galactic Reiki and Angelic Reiki, and whatever those things may mean to someone. And yet I guess I've just come to understand that it's there. It's a part of what I do. It's a part of this message. It's a part of my voice. They are a part of my voice. Your guides are a part of my voice. And this works both ways. You are that as well for those that you interact with. So I know that the Reiki energy, my most beautiful intention. So that reminds me, I have to introduce you to beautiful soon. I know that all of the vibrations present in these transmissions, it's like the miato water filtering through sand. And I don't even understand it myself. My body's tired, my arms get tired,
just from doing normal stuff. And I'm like, and things affect me more now. And, even just holding up the camera for 20 or 30 minutes is, I feel it, and yet I also know that that's part of my power. It's part of my strength. That's part of what helps me be strong. And I have a gym membership. Not really a gym person, but yeah, I'm working on it. I've also found that I kind of wanted a track to walk on, a flat track, because we have no flat places to walk here. But I also understand how good it is for me to climb and do the uneven surfaces, and so I definitely do that as well. But there's sometimes when I just want to walk straight or walk in a straight line, and there's really nowhere here to do that safely. And so so that's something that I've discovered, that I kind of miss, that walking in a straight line. And so I have to go either drive to a trail to do that, or I don't walk in town, I guess, but to get a good clip. And so anyway, yeah, so there's a gym just short, just down the road a piece. And so wanting to have that backup of having a place to walk and kind of get a pace up, you know what I mean, and kind of zen out. And I don't really like walking around a track either. I would much rather be outside. So it's kind of my backup when it's too cold or it's too hot. And they've got machines, all the machines and everything. But this and cooking and just doing stuff is my zen, my workout, and doing my stretches and that sort of thing. But we chop wood, carry water. That's I don't really think that we necessarily need more than that. But of course, you are what you love, and you are who you are, and I am what I am, and I am not a get up in the morning and go to the gym kind of person. And it seems maybe not as much at all as I had hoped I would be, but well, I guess I would just rather be doing and creating and building and cleaning and although cleaning, but and digging in the garden and that kind of thing. So that's kind of more my jive, more my vibe, I guess. Yeah, so as you can see from, if you've been watching some of my videos for a little while, I have dabbled in different things in different different times and different climates. So but it's all about the experience, it's all about the joys and the journey. And I've always saw that and said that, the word journey begins and ends with the word joy. And and I do find myself, once I am part of in the harmony of it, because a lot of times I feel like these things are, having to eat and clean are interruptions in my journey and not a part of it. And, and I remember, I think, wow, how do we do that working full time? And how did I do that? And raising kids and having dinner on the table every night, even working full time and doing all the stuff in the house and keeping the house and doing all of that. And then after doing that, it's like, just wanting to take a little bit of a breath and do the things that I, hone in and what do I really enjoy, and what things am I not enjoying that maybe I have negative belief systems about. So I'm actually, I find myself more and more often now getting more excited about those things, or at least getting them done, if nothing else, but getting more excited about, eating and cooking. And, but I keep it very simple. We keep it very simple, our diets. But chat for another time. So I just appreciate the little coffee chat, and just getting to sit down and talk to you guys and, just relate. So yeah, as I was saying, I don't really have the physical community for doing this type of spiritual stuff, at least yet today. And that's always open for change. And of course, I always enjoy doing, private Zoom sessions and doing live events and having people hang out in Zoom and, all of it, just all of it. So I guess that's also my way of saying thank you to all of you, whether you just tuning in for the first time or for whatever time as we create time, length of time that you've shared with me throughout these last 9 years and beginning my 10th year. And I never know what tomorrow will bring. I never know what's going to excite me next or what I'm going to be excited to talk about or share. Libesama sharijani ki inzama hijana bi avamaha patenda lesi esha irjukomi be amarahala neta kiana sapasamo. So whatever brought you here, and whatever brings you and brings you back, thank you. We're all multidimensional beings, and I've always felt that even as a channel, allowing people to see that it doesn't just have to be one thing or one being or one race of beings, or that's not who you are. It's not who we are. It's not who I am. I am many things. I've even laughed about, I've got a stack of hats over here up on top of my easel. I may not be able to see them very clearly. Where's my hand? Right there. Because we wear a lot of hats. And I even have caricatures that someone drew at one of our company parties, which I've shared here and there over the years. But she's got a stack of hats because he asked, what do you do at the company? I said, well, I do this, but I wear a lot of hats. And we all wear a lot of hats, don't we? We all wear a lot of hats. Which hat feels more comfortable to us and to you? And even if you don't believe that one hat can bring you pure, without insistence, allowing that one hat to bring you to the next, to maybe show you what hat feels the best to you. What hat do you want to wear? And maybe you want to, like me, I like a lot of different hats for different excitements. So we are a lot of hats. We have a lot of minds and a lot of beings that we're connected to that wear a lot of hats, and we're all exchanging energy and the infiniteness of our souls and our oversouls and our oversouls and the infiniteness of they have an infinite number, etc. But the mere idea that what are we at now? Over 7 billion people on the planet, probably approaching 8 billion, that out of those 7-8 billion people, there are only a little over 300,000 oversouls. So if we understand the connectedness of what that means just with us, that of 300 oversouls, out of those 300 oversouls, those crystals, those flowers, trees, each one of those trees has created, out of three, maybe there's more now, but out of those 300,000 oversouls, we, almost 8 billion people, share among us. And don't forget, those oversouls are also connected. So think of it maybe as a bunch of octopuses, or however you need to put it in your mind to understand how deeply and interconnected that we all are. And that's really from the beginning what this channel has also been about, and what the channelings have been about, and when they come through. And it's really for me been a lot about collective consciousnesses and the understanding of interacting on such a, I don't even know any other words other than multidimensional, that infinitely parallel lives that we connect with. So it's been an exciting journey for me. And really that's all it's been for me in these, is just sharing my journey. And if someone else gets realizes something, gets closer to their heart, to themselves, maybe you're beginning to channel, maybe you started, I know a lot of people started speaking light languages. Maybe the card readings bring some important message from your higher self. Whatever brings you here, whatever hat you're wearing on that day, is who you need to be. Whoever that you is, and that now is perfect, that is the perfect representation of what that perfect self is for you in that moment, and to accept and love that self. And again, like water through sand. And maybe it's taken you on some intimate journeys with yourself to know thyself more fully. One of the very first Bashar tools I did, if you're not familiar, and I have a playlist of, is the 49-day journey that Bashar took us on in a mirror exercise. That it was 49 days. And if you add 4 and 9 together, that's 13. That's the number of transformation. 7 days a week for 7 weeks. And it was a commitment. So to go through very, very quick exercises every day, they only take a couple of seconds. Yet the devotion, the commitment, the maybe the repetition, it was all a very enlightening process for many people, and it's not easy for a lot of people to look in the mirror. And maybe that's why it's hard for a lot of people who want to make videos, and they want to, but they don't, because maybe they're afraid to look in the mirror. And I just had to get over that. I just had to get over that, because I already know I'm looking in the mirror, and the what we're reminded of is that image in the mirror is also a whole nother dimension, and it's a whole nother reflection of another being that is you, also part of you, and a part of your soul, and your soul's journey, and your oversoul's journey, and their oversoul's journey, and so on and so on. And that is how we are the journeys of Source, the lights of God. The light of God. We are illuminators, illuminating the light of Source energy within us all. Whether you recognize it as the angel within you, whether you recognize it as the eternal flame within you, whether you recognize it as your heart center, whether you recognize it as God, as Source, it is the light that we all recognize within each other. That we are being more and more every day invited to see by loving the reflection that you're seeing right now. And that means everything around you, everything around us. And again, when I say you, they're talking to us, to recognize the perfection as it needs to be in that moment, the way it is. And once we are once again, the presence of grace and gratitude, of understanding that part of the cycle is necessary, that nut that fell off the tree is necessary. It is crucial, or it wouldn't be there. It wouldn't exist. And it fell in exactly the right place at the right time, just like you, just like me. Lazimia Sharojana and Tevesma Aroma Alke, Kaliana Malavasmotea, Ajana Kotea, Zon Sopo, Payashana Kilavasma, Ajana Katiavasma, Miato. Anto Yajana Seme Eve, Miakonte Shana Sesete. Wow. Well, thanks for hanging out with me once again. And maybe let's pull a card, huh? Shall we? Have a little sip of coffee. Whoa, that was really weird. So all of a sudden, I went and grabbed this deck. So I was like, oh, I'm celebrating flowers today. And the magical herb deck come. And all of a sudden, a bunch of stuff just like fell off the shelf. And it was like, boom, 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 one thing after the other. And so I turned over I got the chills. So I was just looking, and I told you I made a list of plants. This is kind of funny. The card that I turned over is Awakening. And it's got vines, and it appears to be berries. And I was just thinking about the vines and the berries today, about what's growing. And look at the eyes and the roots, and watering the roots. Awakening. Number 5. So number 5 is the symbol for humanity. Remember, 5 fingers, 5 head, arms, legs. Golden seal. Awakening. Number 5. This represents humanity. Awakening. And the vine. And how we're all connected through the eyes of Source. Water your joy. Water your joy. They are the roots. They are the roots. Water the joy. They are the roots. Number 5. Awakening. Golden seal. The call to rise and rally is sounding, along with the power to activate the strength and tools required for any initiative you may be planning to undertake. A loosening up of attitude is called for, or a softening of rules and conventions. Don't go get caught sleeping or daydreaming, as the time has come that you've been waiting for. So, you did your daydreaming. What's time to put into action? What's time to water? That's pretty funny. Yesterday we got daydreaming. That's pretty funny. Perhaps, too, you need to look beyond the surface of something that has held your focus. This is a positive message of a brighter tomorrow and an increase of finances and resources. And as I said, you guys, I don't always read the book, but I really felt like I needed to read that one. So I think it's always because someone needs to hear it. So thank you once again for being with me today. In service, in grace and gratitude and appreciation, I am. Mialavakia, Alizinomosha, Ejana Kintipisma, and Demiama Ataiva Amaro, Seta Koshanopiama Asape, Etikiana Sata. And thank you for being with me as I begin this new cycle, this new beginning, this 10th year, as I start over with the number 1. Until the next now moment. I love you. I love you. I love you. Miyaka.